Your doctor may have tested your magnesium and told you everything was normal. But what if that test measured only a tiny fraction of the magnesium stored inside your body? What if the real problem was hiding where standard blood work rarely looks? And what if that hidden deficiency was contributing to symptoms you've been told are simply part of getting older? Heart palpitations, poor sleep, high blood pressure, fatigue, muscle cramps, and even a higher risk of serious health problems later in life. A major study following adults over the age of 65 found something remarkable. Those with the highest magnesium intake had a significantly lower risk of death from all causes compared to those with the lowest intake, not from one disease, from all causes. Today, we'll explore the 8 signs that may suggest your body needs more magnesium and why so many older adults never recognize them until much later. And stay with me until the end, because I've put together a simple one-page summary of everything we'll cover today. I'll show it on screen before we finish, so you can take a screenshot and save it for future reference. Before we get to the signs, there's one important thing you should understand. Magnesium is involved in more than 300 biochemical processes throughout the body. It helps regulate heart rhythm, blood pressure, muscle function, sleep quality, nerve signaling, and energy production. The challenge is that magnesium deficiency often develops slowly. Symptoms appear gradually. And because they develop over time, many people assume they're simply experiencing the effects of aging. But researchers are increasingly discovering that what appears to be normal aging may sometimes be a warning sign of something else. Let's begin with the sign that often gets people's attention first. Have you ever felt your heart flutter unexpectedly, skip a beat, or suddenly begin racing for no obvious reason? It can be unsettling. And for many older adults, it can also be frightening. Your heart depends on a precise balance of minerals to maintain a stable rhythm. Among the most important are magnesium, calcium, and potassium. Magnesium helps regulate the movement of these minerals in and out of heart cells, supporting normal electrical activity. When magnesium levels become too low, that balance can begin to shift. Researchers have found that lower magnesium levels are associated with a significantly increased risk of atrial fibrillation, one of the most common heart rhythm disorders in older adults. Now, this doesn't mean every palpitation is caused by magnesium deficiency. Far from it. Heart symptoms should always be discussed with your physician. But if you've experienced unexplained fluttering, pounding, or irregular heartbeats, magnesium is one factor that deserves attention. And interestingly, many people who experience palpitations also struggle with the next sign, a problem that affects millions of adults every night. Do you find yourself waking up between 2 and 4 in the morning? Not because of noise, not because of pain. You simply wake up, then lie there staring at the ceiling, unable to fall back asleep. Many adults over 60 experience this regularly, and many assume it's just part of getting older. But magnesium plays an important role in several systems involved in sleep regulation. It helps support normal nervous system function. It contributes to muscle relaxation, and it plays a role in the body's ability to maintain healthy sleep patterns. Several clinical studies have found that magnesium supplementation may improve sleep quality in older adults, particularly among those with inadequate magnesium intake. Sleep is one of the body's most powerful repair mechanisms. When sleep suffers, almost everything else suffers too. Energy levels decline, mood changes, memory becomes less reliable, and overall health can begin to deteriorate. But poor sleep is often only the beginning, because many people who struggle with sleep also experience another common problem, one that millions monitor every single day: Perhaps you're taking your medication, watching your sodium intake, trying to stay physically active, yet your blood pressure remains stubbornly elevated. Sound familiar? Magnesium helps blood vessels relax. When blood vessels remain flexible and relaxed, blood can flow more efficiently through the body. When they become more constricted, blood pressure rises. Over the years, researchers have examined dozens of clinical trials evaluating magnesium and blood pressure. Many have found that magnesium supplementation can produce modest but meaningful reductions in both systolic and diastolic blood pressure, especially in individuals whose magnesium intake is low. The effect isn't dramatic, but when it comes to cardiovascular health, even small improvements maintained over many years can make a meaningful difference. And here's where things become interesting. Many adults who struggle with blood pressure issues also complain about something else, something they often blame entirely on age: persistent fatigue. This isn't ordinary tiredness after a busy day. It's the feeling that your energy never fully returns. You wake up tired, you feel exhausted by mid-afternoon, and simple activities seem to require more effort than they once did. Many people assume this is simply what happens after 60, but your cells produce energy through a process that depends heavily on magnesium. Every heartbeat, every muscle contraction, every nerve signal, every movement you make requires energy, and magnesium helps your cells produce and use that energy efficiently. Without enough magnesium, the body's energy systems may not function at their best. Researchers have found that magnesium plays a critical role in cellular energy production, helping support the processes that generate ATP, the primary energy source used throughout the body. As we age, natural energy production already becomes less efficient. A magnesium deficiency can add another layer to the problem. This doesn't mean magnesium is a magic solution for fatigue. But when persistent tiredness appears alongside poor sleep, high blood pressure, or heart palpitations, it may be part of a larger pattern. And the next sign may be one of the clearest signals your body can send, a signal that often appears suddenly and painfully. Have you ever been jolted awake by a sudden cramp in your calf? One moment you're asleep, the next, you're sitting upright in bed trying to stretch a painfully tight muscle. For many older adults, this becomes a regular occurrence, and while dehydration, medications, and circulation issues can all contribute, magnesium is one of the most overlooked factors. Magnesium and calcium work together to control muscle contraction and relaxation. Calcium helps muscles contract. Magnesium helps them relax. When magnesium levels become too low, that balance can shift, making muscles more prone to cramping, twitching, and spasms. Several studies have found that magnesium supplementation may help reduce the frequency and severity of nighttime leg cramps in some older adults. If these cramps occur regularly, especially without obvious triggers, your muscles may be trying to tell you something, but muscles aren't the only tissue affected by magnesium. Your brain depends on it too. Have you ever felt physically tired but mentally unable to switch off? Your body wants to rest, but your mind keeps going. One thought leads to another, and another, and another. Many people assume this is simply stress, but researchers have discovered that magnesium plays an important role in regulating nervous system activity. When magnesium levels are low, the brain may become more sensitive to stimulation. In simple terms, your nervous system can remain in a heightened state of alertness. Several studies have found that people with lower magnesium intake are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety, nervous tension, and chronic stress. This doesn't mean magnesium is a treatment for anxiety disorders, but it does suggest that inadequate magnesium intake may make it harder for the brain and nervous system to maintain balance. And what researchers discovered next may surprise you, because the next sign has nothing to do with muscles, sleep, or stress, at least not at first glance. Most people think of calcium when they think about strong bones, but magnesium plays an equally important role. In fact, a large percentage of the body's magnesium is stored inside bone tissue. Magnesium helps support normal vitamin D function. Vitamin D helps regulate calcium, and calcium helps maintain healthy bones. When magnesium intake is inadequate, this entire system can become less efficient. Several studies have found a positive relationship between magnesium intake and bone mineral density in older adults. This is important because bone loss often develops silently. There is usually no pain, no warning, no obvious symptoms, until a fracture occurs. That's why maintaining bone health isn't just about calcium. It's about ensuring your body has all the nutrients required to use calcium properly. And now we come to the final sign, one that many people rarely associate with magnesium. Let's talk about something that isn't discussed nearly enough. Digestive health. Many adults experience constipation as they get older. Bowel movements become less frequent, more difficult, and often uncomfortable. Magnesium helps support normal digestive function in two important ways. First, it helps draw water into the intestines. Second, it supports the muscular contractions that move waste through the digestive tract. When magnesium levels are low, digestion can become sluggish. Many people spend years focusing only on fiber intake without considering whether magnesium could also be playing a role. For some individuals, improving magnesium intake may help support healthier bowel function and greater digestive comfort. Now here's where everything we've discussed starts coming together. What if these aren't 8 separate problems? What if they're connected? Think about everything we've covered: heart palpitations, poor sleep, high blood pressure, fatigue, muscle cramps, anxiety, bone loss, constipation. At first glance, they seem completely unrelated, different symptoms, different body systems, different problems. But magnesium influences every one of them. Your heart depends on it, your muscles depend on it, your nervous system depends on it, your bones depend on it, your blood vessels depend on it, your digestive system depends on it. This helps explain why magnesium deficiency is often so difficult to recognize. The symptoms appear in different parts of the body. One person notices fatigue, another notices insomnia, another notices blood pressure problems. Yet they may all share a common underlying issue, and this brings us back to the study we mentioned at the beginning. Researchers followed adults over the age of 65 and found that those with the highest magnesium intake had a significantly lower risk of death from all causes compared to those with the lowest intake. Not one disease, not one symptom, overall health outcomes. While magnesium is certainly not a miracle nutrient, findings like these remind us how important basic nutritional foundations can be. Sometimes the most important factors are also the easiest to overlook. So what can you do? First, focus on food. Some of the richest dietary sources of magnesium include pumpkin seeds, spinach, almonds, beans, and dark chocolate. Whenever possible, nutrition should begin with food. Second, review your medications with your physician. Certain medications, including some acid reflux medications and certain diuretics, may affect magnesium levels over time. Third, pay attention to patterns. A single symptom may not mean much, but when several of these signs appear together, it may be worth discussing magnesium status with your healthcare provider. And finally, don't assume every symptom is simply aging. Growing older changes the body. but many symptoms often blamed on age may have contributing factors that deserve attention. Before we finish, here's the one-page summary I promised. Take a screenshot now and save it for future reference. It includes the key points, practical recommendations, and the most important information we covered in today's video. If you found today's video helpful, make sure to subscribe to Lifespan Lab. We publish new videos every week covering healthy aging, nutrition, longevity, and the latest research that can help you stay healthier as you get older. And if you'd like to discover another important health insight, watch the next video on your screen now. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay proactive, and take care of your health.